card reading, we are going to be looking at your next glow up. Where in your life will you be seeing improvement soon? What can you expect? So, I thought it might be nice to do maybe a little bit more self-love related or more about self-focused readings. I know I often focus on love, and I know that there are many of you that are not interested in love readings. Of course, I'll still do love readings, but I thought, again, let's focus on the self-love and pumping ourselves up for the future that is coming for us. Okay? So, with that being said, we have 4 groups here today. We have Galena on the stone number 1, on pile number 1. So this is Galena is the name of the stone. And then we have this beautiful rock from, I think it's Lake Michigan. Cameron got it for me and sent it to me through the mail, which is awesome. Thank you, Cameron, if you're watching. And then we have this desert rose stone here on group number 3. And we have citrine on group number 4. So, of course, you can also, by the way, if you feel drawn to more than one pile, you are welcome to watch more than one pile. This is timeless, so when you come across it and you're feeling drawn and, led here, this is your reading. And hopefully you'll find a message here that will, like I said, uplift your spirits and make you feel excited about your future and your next glow up. So, with that being said, I hope that this reading finds you healthy, happy, and I'm sending you lots of admiration and love. And let's just go ahead and get into the reading. So, timestamps are down below. Hello, my friends that chose group number 1 here with this Galena stone. This is your reading. So we'll set this off to the side and let's get started. Now, I took the first card here. It's a goddess card from the Legendary Ladies Goddess deck. And this is going to be the goddess that's sort of helping you through this glow up, who's here for you and is calling out to you. So we have Sekhmet, okay? And this card is about healing. The message of this card is, Lioness, Goddess of Destruction and Healing, Sekhmet shows you the power of breaking things down in order to rebuild them better. It's time to do just that. She'll send you messages in your dreams about what will help you transform during your next evolution. So for many of you, your next glow up is a completely fresh start. And you have Sekhmet here helping you kind of figure out what needs to be torn down to be rebuilt. Very much reminds me of kind of like a Pluto energy. To be honest. But let's see what else is here. Oh, and there's one thing I'm going to tell you. I was going to say it in the beginning, but I know a lot of people don't watch the beginnings and the intros, and that's okay. I understand. I'm also an impatient person. But I had a song when I was shuffling for this reading. I had my shuffle on, right? Yeah, when I was shuffling, I had also my music shuffle on. And the song Blown Away by Carrie Underwood came on. And it was 2:22 on my camera. And I actually have a screenshot of it. But yeah, what I thought was interesting is that I felt like it was a message for I think for the collective that's watching this reading. So I wanted to mention that Blown Away song. Although that song is kind of on the negative side in terms of like maybe some of you aren't going through such harsh things as like I guess the character of that song, but it does remind me that there are some things that need to be blown away, like, it says shatter every window till it's all blown away, so there's a lot of things that need to be kind of busted out, is what I'm getting for everyone. But we have Venus here. So Venus, and this is like, I asked the astrology cards, where in life is this coming? This glow up coming? Well, Venus represents love, beauty, luxury, your finances, all those kinds of things. But I really feel like for most of you, your glow up is coming in terms of love. In particular, I get a lot about self-love here because this dragonfly spirit, it says truth transcends illusion. And I feel like a lot of you are going to be busting through illusions that you have about yourself and your abilities, your worth, and perhaps your limitations as well. What I find interesting is that this card has 22 on it. So you remember I said that the timestamp of that song was at 2:22. So again, some of you might be seeing that number quite often. You know what's interesting too is that we have guilt. I release any beliefs that are no longer assist in my soul's growth. And again, we often hold guilt in our life. And I think one of your glow-ups is going to be part of the fact that you're ridding and shedding yourself of guilt, where you felt tied down in certain situations, whether it's a relationship or images of yourself, where you felt guilty maybe for expressing yourself. I think there's a good chance that for a lot of you here, there might be more embracing your sexuality and your I guess, your passionate nature, essentially. So I don't know if some of you have kind of repressed some of your passion in life. But there's something here about acceptance and letting go of guilt when it comes to like expressing your passions. I also see for a lot of you, like I said, there's a lot of like love coming into your life. And we also have you'll be playing a different role here with the hat. So I do feel like, first of all, there's a sense of kind of putting on this hat of authority in your own life, standing up for yourself, and all of that kind of stuff. So let's get into some tarot. And by the way, you know, a lot of people ask about cleansing decks. Here's a little selenite slab, and I often set my decks on this to cleanse them. And so if you guys are tarot readers, and I know many people watch also dabble with the cards and stuff like that, definitely, you know, that's a good way to cleanse, right? Okay, so spirit guides and angels, group number 1. Tell me more about where they are currently. The majority of those watching group number 1. Okay, we have 2 cards coming out. Oh, okay, here. Some of you, with the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Wands, might be defending certain truths or fighting off certain truths that you know to be true. Some of you might be used to kind of putting up barriers or walls in terms of trying to express yourself. Maybe there's a shame in expressing yourself or kind of going for what you want. I don't know about you guys, but oftentimes that's the case for me. I have a lot of Neptune in my chart, and so I tend to be kind of sacrificial, and I feel like selfishness is like one of the worst qualities. But actually, selfishness isn't always a bad thing, because it can be very good for us. Because it helps us feel more fulfilled, you know, but sometimes we're not even looking at what we think is selfish. Like sometimes we're not seeing ourselves clearly, and I feel like that might be the case. There are certain truths or misconceptions that you are defending about yourself, or you're kind of fighting off, I guess you could say, is what I'm getting. What is coming up in terms of glow up for group number 1? What will be the biggest aspect of their glow up in the future? The Knight of Wands, again, a passionate expression. The Knight of Wands does not hold back on how they're expressing themselves, whether it's through, you know, sex or love or connection or passions or like hobbies. I definitely see a lot of you fully expressing yourself and embracing yourself. And with strength here, there's definitely, you know what's interesting is I do feel like some of you might have been a little bit repressed in some way, where you've held back with moderation. But I do see, for a lot of you, I do see a passionate union coming for you, although I don't feel like that's necessarily a glow up. But for some of you, it might be if you've been feeling stale, or you feel like there hasn't been much appreciation for you. And again, it might be that you're pursuing it, because you'll play a different role in your next relationship than your previous one, is what I'm getting for a lot of you, especially those of you that have relationship issues in particular. But I just see a more bold self-expression and a lot more inner security. But I also see a lot more about connection coming in, expressing your heartfelt emotions. You know what's interesting is oftentimes I've felt, and I don't know if any of you have ever felt that way, and I think this might be my Pluto Sun opposition, because it's on my midheaven in my IC. And I've noticed that sometimes I have a problem with people expressing themselves vulnerably. Like I'll feel like a secondhand embarrassment. And it's really my own issue, because I have this issue of self-expression, of being vulnerable. It can be very difficult for me, especially actually once I'm close to someone. It becomes even harder for some reason. I don't know why that is. I don't know. Does anyone else feel like that? Like sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger than a friend. I don't know. Maybe I'm just very weird and unusual in that aspect. But there's something here about like having no shame in expressing yourself. And I feel like it will be appreciated too, which will further boost your confidence. But I do see that for many of you, especially that have been hoping for like a satisfying relationship, I feel like that's coming in for a lot of you. Okay, tell me more about this glow up for group number 1. Some of you might be attracting more attention, actually, as well, because we're getting a lot of court cards coming out. Wow, interesting. There is an opportunity to heal certain things within yourself that feel a bit damaged. And it may very well actually be via another person. I do feel like another person might have something to do with this glow up. Like you're going to get that encouragement, that heartfelt encouragement from another person. And it's stupid. I know sometimes people will say, oh, well, you need to find happiness within yourself before you find it from someone else. And that's all well and good. And it is true that we should be doing healing. But our connection to life is through other people. We're not solo. And our interactions with others are very important to our growth and our evolution as a person. Because it's through others that we learn how to behave, how we learn how to love, how we learn how to accept love, how we learn how to be treated. You know what I mean? That's our mirror. To ourselves, is our reflection through other people, and other people are part of these journeys. So it's funny, I thought this would be more of an individualistic type of reading, but it does feel as if there's another person involved here that is going to be aiding you in this glow up. And I do feel like for a lot of you there's a romantic connection, and again, there might be some healing in terms of sexual issues for those of you that have resonated with that kind of message, okay? Like maybe a gentle soul who is wanting to kind of help heal certain, issues that you have, or take it slow, or, use their prowess, gently and with gentleman-like, behavior, even if it's not a masculine, by the way. You know what I mean? But just being kind of like that gentle type of person. And again, I feel like this is, you might have had certain illusions about yourself in the past, about your beauty, your worth, and that's the thing, you're playing a different role. And I feel like whatever this next connection is coming in, it's giving you a totally different role than you previously had. You're getting also a lot more power. I think of hats as like signifiers, right? Like often kings or queens wear crowns. So there's a sort of respect that comes, think of the gentleman with the top hat in the 1800s or something. It's like something about you getting a sort of, you're recognized in some way. Even if you think about professions where they wear a hat that identifies who they are, there's something about you that's going to be different than how you've been. And for a lot of you, I get that sense of a title. And it doesn't mean that you're going to become titled. You're not marrying royalty or anything, probably. I mean, I doubt it. But no, there's a sense of like someone giving you that title, that respect that you deserve. And also busting through a lot of illusions you had about yourself. Tell me more about group number 1's glow up. Tell me more about the love aspect. Tell me more about the love aspect since this is coming through. Interesting. The Four of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the World. There could be travel here involved as well. Some of you might be pursuing some sort of travel. But again, I think that this is like a sense of accomplishment. The world is about completion and about cycles coming to a conclusion in a positive way, right? It's kind of like a graduation from one step of life into another. And there we have the Page of Wands next to it. I feel like some of you have been waiting for this for a long time here with the Four of Swords. This might have been something that's kind of been coming, and maybe in some ways you've been very inactive. It also could be representing that some of you throughout, like as I film this, obviously we're still kind of going through the COVID thing. And for many of you, it might have been a period or a year of reflection. I feel like this was a year where many of us have reflected, and really got to know ourselves a bit better, hopefully. But again, there's a new adventure that's kind of awaiting for you is what I'm getting. And look at that, I got the Fool. Again, a new adventure and a new phase and a less careless attitude in pursuing your visions and your dreams. And like I said, I feel like whatever the glow up is going to induce in you is a lot of passion and letting go of the guilt that it takes to like maybe pursue your passions. Like, oh, I need to stick around here, or I need to stick with this person, or I need to stick with this situation, or whatnot, Letting go of those sort of limiting beliefs in yourself, and really seeing the truth, like I said with the dragonfly spirit. Truth transcends illusion. Don't allow the illusions of yourself to transcend the actual truth about yourself. And like I said, that's the glow up. I really feel like you're becoming more in touch with yourself and who you really are, what you really want, how you want to express that. And you're going to get the chance, I think, to do that with people who are safe, you know? And that's going to be part of the glow up for you guys. So that is what I'm seeing here. Let's see. Maybe let's grab a few charms. Actually, yeah, we'll do some charms. So, this is dusty. Dusty, dusty, dusty. Oh my gosh, okay, look at this. We have strong is beautiful. Here, let me bring up the charms here. I'm going to flip them over and then bring them up so you can see. And then we'll go through them. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. I love it. You guys are going to be attracting so much attention from perhaps, you know, the people, like people that are romantically interested in you, that are attracted to you. Look at that. That's what I always think of when I see this charm. There's also partnership, equal partnership, communication coming in. There's an overall sense of just like really, and there's, by the way, Scorpio right here. There's a lot of signs showing up here though. We have Aquarius, we have Capricorn, we have Virgo. We have 2 Virgos. Again, that can be your health improving, feeling more vitality within yourself. We also have, like I said, improved communication, improved relationships, and improved endeavors. Generally with Capricorn here, that's talking about going towards your goals. And there's a lot of inner work that's going on here too, under the surface here with the Scorpio charm. There's also a sense of intimacy. And I feel like a lot of you, like I said, who are trying to heal certain aspects of yourself in terms of intimacy, in terms of romance, in terms of your beauty, you're going to be getting this via another person. We also have strong is beautiful, like I said. We have this heart, these hearts linked. So again, there's another indication of a romantic relationship coming in for you. We also have this cat though, which represents to me independence. And there we have the cameo as well. Look at that. I always think of, you know, a beautiful portrait and a sense of beauty. The turtle here. So again, slow growth and slow movement. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. We have I can. And maybe that's a recognition that you can do anything you want, that you can pursue your passions, and your passions start to come into fruition. You start to see yourself in the role of your passions. Again, 2 cats here. And a peace sign as well. So a peace sign could talk about a more peaceful sense with yourself, with other people, a more peaceful relationship, a harmonious relationship, a more harmonious, you know, balance in your own self, right? I'm going to edit this in the reading, but I forgot this charm. It fell on one of the cards and I didn't notice. And it says, learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. So there is a message from the charms for you that I really hope helps, you know, give some insight. And I didn't want to forget it because I didn't realize it had fallen on that card until I was cleaning up. So there you go. So yeah, that is what I'm seeing for you guys that chose group number 1. I really hope that this reading provides you with some guidance and some insight into your future and your next glow up. Let me know what you thought and if this resonated, if you're excited for this. And I will be happy to see you all in the next reading, okay? Take care. Hello, my friends. If you chose group number 2 here with this stone from Cameron, that she sent me. She found it outside and sent it to me. It's beautiful. It usually sits in my moon bowl, but I thought I'd grab it for this reading. So there is your stone here. I'll move group number 1 stone away. Let's find out what is coming for you in terms of a glow up. Now, I took a goddess message here for which goddess is around you at this time, aiding you in this glow up. So we have Kali and Durga. So let's read what this one says. So Kali says, the shadow. Goddess of destruction, Kali calls for you to face your shadow self. Things lurking underneath may be disrupting what you're trying to achieve on the surface. Facing those aspects of yourself is the only way forward. Kali helps you embrace them so you can truly be free from fear. So it's all about conquering fears, the little shadow creatures that kind of lurk within inside of us, and they tell us we can't do something or we're not capable or those type of things. So it seems like you guys are going to be doing a lot of shadow work and removing some of those little boogeyman that live in your subconscious and stop you from, achieving things. We also have Durga, boundaries. Now that's an interesting card. Let's see what it says. It says, Great Goddess of War and Protection, Durga is leaping into your life right now to help you establish boundaries. Boundaries are one of the greatest ways you can take care of yourself. Remember to draw clear ones to protect and preserve your inner spirit. So a lot of you are purging situations in which you have not been putting up proper boundaries. And that's the really the guidance you're having here from the goddesses, and that message of solidarity with you and loyalty to you as you go through this process, right? So let's see what else comes out here. We have dolphin spirit, this and that are true. We have friendship, forest, opportunity or windfall, past life relationship, Taurus, and confidence. Let me, we'll do this. There we go. Hopefully you can see everything. Okay, good. I looked at my camera just to be sure. Okay, that looks a little bit more better. Okay. So I feel like a lot of you, part of your glow up is you're letting go and shedding old relationships. Now we have past life relationship. Now for some of you, this glow up could have something to do with past life karma or things that you've kind of built up and brought into this life from past life or from your early childhood. It could also be shedding certain relationships in your life and putting up the boundaries. Because boundaries, as somebody who's never had them and allowed people to kind of walk all over me, it's hard to put up boundaries because you feel guilty, you feel shitty about it, you feel like you're being too much, you're too difficult. What if they leave? I think that was one of the biggest epiphanies I had over the past few months was that, when I had tried to put up a boundary with my father when I was a kid, he, he called me and told me I was bad, and I didn't hear from him for years. He changed his phone number, and there was no internet back then to track him down. And I didn't hear from him until I was into my teens. And it was a painful thing for me. And I learned that when you speak up for yourself and you try to get what you want, someone can leave you. And that information has sat with me longer than I realized, in my subconscious. And it's caused me in my life to allow people to kind of just railroad me and let them do whatever because I'm don't want to, essentially I don't want to scare them away, right? But at the same time, it causes so much resentment when we don't put up boundaries because then our values aren't really matched. And what I find interesting here is that we have Taurus. Now in group number 1, we had Venus. In this group, we have Taurus. Now, Taurus is, the sign of the second house. The second house represents our finances, our self-worth, and our value, though. Our legacy, kind of the things that we inherit in some ways in the physical sense. If you think about the astrological wheel in the sense of a story, the first house can represent the birth, and the second house can represent how we are nurtured and cared for, our desires, our needs. Our needs to survive. We need milk, we need food, we need parents, we need blankets, we need these things, right? And then of course, babies start to want something more beyond that, beyond just, they want cuddles, they want love, they want all these kinds of things. And of course, again, Taurus is also a sign of luxury or wanting something nice. And, babies want toys and stuff like that. So if you think about, it's kind of like honoring your needs and your necessities. And I feel like for a lot of you, you might be shedding boundaries that you've kind of put up for yourself in terms of what you need. For some of you, I do feel like there might be a shedding in terms of how you view finances. That might be the case for some of you. There might be more confidence in what you deserve, though, and what you actually want to create in your life. What do you actually want to see? And again, I feel like a lot of you are going to be purging old things, whether it's clothes, people, situations. And I see new friendships coming in. I do feel like for those of you that have lost a friend and you had to put up boundaries, I do see for a lot of you, one of the things that's kind of coming towards you is a friendship with boundaries in which you feel a lot more comfortable. There also might be an inner sense of yourself here that where you kind of discover, and this is something I think I've also had problems with myself, and sorry if I relate myself, but I want to connect with you guys. That's how I do it. But like with this dolphin spirit, it says this and that are true. Everyone has their own truth. And just because someone has some points doesn't always mean that they're right for you. Right? Sometimes you are allowed to feel something because you feel it. And you need something because you need it. And there's no like black and white when it comes to humans, necessarily. And so for some of you, there might be like kind of getting rid of that shadowy aspect that kind of hangs on to maybe allowing, I don't know I'm trying to think of how to explain this exactly, but not allowing people to kind of walk all over you at the same time, but also understanding that that's who they are, that's what they need, and walk in peace, in a different direction than me. That kind of thing. We also have, like I said, a lot of confidence coming towards you. And this as well could be about accepting certain things within ourselves, especially with that dolphin spirit and the confidence card. Understanding that, yeah, I might have this and I might have that, but I can still be this, or I can still be that. Not limiting yourself by your looks or your value, your perceived value of yourself, right? Some people might think, well, I'm too this to be that, there's a lot about self-acceptance here. And also, perhaps not allowing certain people to kind of undermine that respect that you have for yourself and that you're trying to build for yourself. And like I said, I do feel like there's going to be a sense of friendship here for a lot of you guys, where friends are really kind of gathering around you in order to kind of lift you up. And you may find that over the next few months, new people are sent into your life to kind of reflect the new person that you want to be and the situations you want to call into your life. What's interesting is that we have the carrot card, and it says opportunity or windfall. So it does seem like as if one of your parts of your next glow up is going to be a new opportunity that's going to get you out of the forest, right? It says muddled, unclear thinking. So I feel like for a lot of you, some muddled, unclear thinking is going to be dissipating, and you will see opportunities kind of coming towards you. Group number 2, what opportunities are coming for them? What kind of opportunities? Opportunities are coming for group number 2. So we have expansion and recognition on something you've been working on, something that you've been kind of patiently planning away at. Hold on. For some of you, there might be a chance to kind of take a totally different turn in life, like a new step, perhaps studying something new, or getting away from your current situation. That kind of turns everything around for you. There also might be something, for some of you, recycling old habits and getting new perspectives in terms of masculinity. Especially for those that have dealt with masculinity that wasn't very healthy. There might be new kinds of people coming in that are going to be more helpful to your understanding of masculinity, what's toxic masculinity in particular, and also embracing your own inner masculinity, whether you're female or male or whatever you identify as. Like, it doesn't matter. But there's something here about being an inner authority as well. And there could also be taking charge on something. Maybe if you've put in the effort on something, but you sort of are half-heartedly doing it or easily giving up, there might be more sort of emphasis on finishing and completing. And again, maybe an understanding of timing. The Three of Wands, though, to me, it really could talk about, expansion and travel. So I do feel like that could be something for some of you. But I do see wishes coming true in a sense of fulfillment in your glow up coming up. Tell me more about the glow up. What is coming? So the Judgment card's interesting because that talks about a new phase. You're waking up from something. It's funny, I almost feel like group number one, they had the card Truth Transcends Illusion. I almost feel like you guys could have had that, or should have had that too, had there been more than one in the deck. There's a sense of waking up from old fears, old patterns, subconscious patterns. There's also like a new sense of a calling here. For a lot of you, like there might be something here about relationship and choices, making healthier choices as an example, understanding more about your choices and why you've made the certain choices that you've made thus far. The Judgment card, when it comes to like life, you know, if you think about judgment in the sense of the biblical meaning, it's kind of like where we're paying for our final, you know, sins were being called up and we're kind of reviewed in some way. And in some ways, you know, when you think of Christianity and maybe this idea of judgment, there's a release from our earthly bodies from the sins that we've had and sort of a new phase where everything's kind of fresh and clean, right? So that's what I feel like for a lot of you, there's a sense of feeling fresh and clean. You know, it's like you're getting out of this muddled kind of thinking that you've been having and you're feeling much more fresh. Particularly in partnership, though, the Lovers is here. So this could indicate something here about romantic relationships. So why is the Lovers coming out for group number 2? Okay, stable home, happy family, celebrations with the Four of Wands. I feel like you're having people come in and situations come in that are going to help you see more clearly, to make more rational decisions. It's interesting about the Forest because this card talks about clear-headed decisions, without emotions, without the ways in which we kind of let our shadow dictate our decisions. This is about support. There's a lot of friendship around here at this time, guys. I feel like if you don't have that now, you will soon. And that's going to be part of the glow up. It's going to be a very supported glow up. It kind of reminds me a little bit of group 1. You'll have to let me know if some of you felt drawn to group 1 as well. Although group 1 felt more romantic based rather than this one feels much more friendship based. Not to say that there isn't a partnership out for you guys. I just feel like that might not be the main focus of this reading. But there is something good that's going to come out of partnership for all of you in this. And I feel like the reason why we're not getting specifics on that is probably because of the fact that there are just many watching with different stories. So it would be difficult to kind of nail that down specifically beyond, you know, knowing that partnership should be improved, or ideas when it comes to partnership, or emotions that have been trapped when it comes to partnership will be released, and a new sense of confidence will be found. And again, I feel like this sort of faded kind of friendships or support coming in around you at this time, and that's going to be part of the glow up. What will be the best manifestation of group number 2's glow up? Some of you, by the way, might be getting a second partner or second relationship in the future. Interesting. The Five of Swords, what would be the biggest aspect of this? Well, we have confidence. Some of you are literally breaking down tradition. Let's see here. We have the Five of Swords, the Tower, and the Hierophant, breaking down traditional norms. It's funny, the Hierophant is associated with Taurus. What is right? What is good? What should be, you know, according to society, is very much that energy of Taurus in the second house. And I feel like a lot of you are breaking out of these barriers. Some of you might be actually leaving relationships or established sort of routines or expectations of yourself in order to kind of find your own happiness. And that's going to be one of the best things. Because the thing about the Tower is that what is strong cannot be torn down. And sometimes there has to be a teardown in order to rebuild. Have you ever seen that, where the room was just a disaster and you're like, where do I even start? And sometimes it's just best to take everything out and do it one by one. That's kind of the energy that you'll be going through, I feel like, for a lot of you, or you're going through it currently. The Five of Swords, which is interesting, is about this and that are true. It feels like you're letting go of the need to be right. The need to allow others to be right, as an example, to hurt you. I feel like this might come out a little bit differently for some of you, but some of you might be letting other people kind of hurt you because you think you deserve it. For others of you, you might be lashing out, but it's no good when you should just be saying goodbye. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So I really feel like a lot of you are letting go of like negative energy, honestly, especially ones you've kind of put up with. And again, breaking out of traditional aspects of life and maybe what you thought was right or what other people think is right for you. And that's going to be, I see a lot of friendship, like I said, coming in for you. I see an uptick in your luck. I see a lot of happiness coming for you. And like opportunities maybe to travel, to be successful, to kind of see success and results that you've been trying to put out there. You know, like seeing the results for things you've been working on. And even more results and opportunities in the distance. So yeah, that is where I feel like your next glow up is coming. Oh wait, hold on. We're going to do charms. Hold up, hold up, hold up. I kind of rambled there for a while, didn't I? Hold up. Let's get some charms for you. Okay. Very, very beautiful. Okay. So we have, first of all, we have this service award, 2 years. So for some of you, that might be something that you're thinking about that might resonate for you. So I've seen some people comment and they're like, oh my God, yeah, my relationship's been 2 years, or they'll tell me how it resonates. But again, it might be that this has been coming 2 years in the making. You know what I mean? Maybe these changes have started to about 2 years ago, as an example. We also have B, and there's like a peace in being, I feel. Being with yourself, no matter your shadow or your light, you know? I also see this frustrated Arthur fist, which always makes me think of like, you know, that period of frustration's over. It's kind of like allowing your hand to just relax, allowing yourself to untense, being around people that don't make you feel tense, by the way. And look at that, 2 years keeps falling down. We'll put it back. Okay. We also have who rescued who. And I feel like a lot of you are going to have people around you that are, you know, very helpful. This yellow heart makes me think of like friendship. And I feel like you might have some friends that are kind of, you know, where you're mutually helping each other. There's a mutual kind of connection. And we have Scorpio, Capricorn, Pisces, and Libra. Now, these may or may not be your signs. It doesn't have to be. Scorpio is about transformation. Capricorn is about achievement and success and like kind of going for the top. Pisces is a spiritual sign that really talks about dreams and sympathy, but it can also be where we are disillusioned, where we're not really seeing ourselves clearly, where we are not facing ourself. And again, for some of you, there might be some ownage of that stuff, partially. I could also see some of you obtaining spiritual goals in particular, especially if you guys are trying to work in spirituality. Libra here can talk about partnerships and really good close relationships, one-on-one, like friendships even. We also have the moon here. So I feel like a lot of you, it's like your heart knows, your mind knows, your intuition knows what you need to do. And some of you might be having particularly strong astrological transits at this time. So you might be having angular houses transited, or a certain like luminaries having conjunctions as an example, or even squares, or trines. But yeah, usually when I'm looking at transits, the ones that are going to be really felt the most are the ones that are on the angles or the angular houses, especially if there are planets there, or when a planet's conjunct. That's going to be where you see the strongest energy, to be honest. So again, you might be having certain astrological influences that are kind of trying to propel you into something. I also see here drink tea, make shit, pet animals, and die. So again, maybe for some of you there's like a schedule, putting up boundaries with your schedule, and some of you might have a busier schedule in the near future if that's what you're looking for. We also have these seashells. So again, I think of these, and it reminds me of one card I have in which each shell has a different life, and it reminds me of a lot of like boundless opportunities kind of hidden and waiting for you to explore. And then we have this quote from Shakespeare, and it says, "In every fair from fair sometimes declines." So again, there's some literature thrown in the mix there that could be resonating with you. But yeah, that is what I'm seeing for you guys in terms of your glow up. I feel like you guys are getting into a good place in terms of relationship, friendship, like I said, dealing with a lot of your shadow and purging yourself from old connections that haven't been healthy for you, and kind of inviting new opportunities in. So yeah, that is what I've got for you guys that chose group number 2. I hope that this reading found you healthy and happy, and I really hope that it helped give you some insight and some excitement for your future. And I want to send you guys lots of love. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next reading. Hello, my friends. If you've chosen group number 3, let's find out where your next glow up is happening in your life. What is happening? Now, I took the Legendary Goddess deck here as a guide for you. And this is which goddess is assisting you through this glow up, and who is around you, and who maybe you could call on, and maybe what she wants you to know. So we have Ran. And Ran, let's read the message here. It says, focus. It's a Norse goddess, and it says, you will easily attract what you want, so be careful what you wish for. Goddess of the Sea, Ran, gives you the ability to focus easily, and that will help you become more magnetic. So very interesting. Magnetism is one of your glow-ups, and kind of attracting what you are wishing for. So I don't know what you guys are wishing for right now, but make sure it's in alignment with what you want to actually see in your life. Okay? We have Leo. Now this is interesting because Leo is the energy of the 5th house and the sun. And this is all about our creativity, our hobbies, our love life, you know, in terms of like romantic partners and lovers. And oftentimes our own like our kind of shining our own light and being kind of individual. You know, it comes after the 4th house of family. And it kind of talks about when we start to break away from our family and we start to be recognized in a different way. You know, our family loves us, they, you know, pull our cheeks and stuff like that. And then we start to see, you know, lovers starting to kind of keep an eye on us or something like that. So there's sort of like this like glow of like recognition that comes with Leo. And I feel like some of you might be receiving that. For those of you that are performers in particular, you might be having a glow up in terms of performance. You might be seeing your image greatly improved. Some of you actually might be taking a vacation and you're going to get a lot of great pictures, and that's going to be part of your glow up. Okay? We have denial here and moth spirit. So this, okay, let's see here what's going on. Let me see what else I'm getting. Well, obviously, clearly, your next glow up has a lot to do with your abundance and creating more abundance in your life. I feel like with worth waiting for, it says divine timing is at work in your love life. So again, there might be somebody kind of coming in at some point. I don't feel for a lot of you this is about love, though. I feel like worth waiting for is really more focused on what you've sort of been trying to obtain, and like kind of the dream life you've been trying to obtain. We have this, a path with money is waiting for you to find it. So I do feel like a lot of you, part of your glow up is going to be finding a path that brings you money and abundance, where you previously might have been denying it as a possibility. Perhaps there was a little bit of self-worth issues here. But you know what's interesting is like surrendering that denial of your ability to manifest, I think, is going to be part of the glow up, and it allows things to kind of rush in at you. There's a lot about self-confidence here too with Leo. Tell me more about group number 3's glow up. Well, again, the Fool could talk about, you know, like fresh starts and hope for the future. It can talk about taking a big chance and forging a new path. So I could see a lot of you are going to start to see progress. And maybe this is about surrendering some of your worries and your cares and just going for something. Some of you might actually find that you glow up a lot on a trip. You might go on a trip and find that you are inspired. I always, I don't know, maybe it's my 9th house stellium, because all my inner planets are there, except for Mars. And I've always found that travel brings such a good vibe to me. Like, I come back from every trip feeling like I can conquer the world, like I want to conquer the world. I don't know. There's just something about travel that is so expansive for me. And it really just expands my horizons and makes me feel as if, like, I don't know. It just gives me that spring in my step that makes me feel like I want to accomplish new things, better things, and I want to live more of that life. And I feel like for a lot of you, that's where the glow up is happening here. Sorry, my dog he's like, let me out. Let me see. Where is the glow up happening? Well, this is definitely moving away from conflicting energy. So where there's been conflict in your life, you're stepping away from it. This might be a lot about your self-worth, where you've been denying you've been unhappy or that you've been feeling stressed out. I see you moving away. You're having a clearer head and you're starting to move. I really do feel like for a lot of you, there might be a vacation in your future that's going to really give you some insight. There's also this sense of beauty and worth and manifestation. The Empress is someone, plants seeds and watches them grow. And again, I feel like that you guys are going to be manifesting a lot more abundance. And that's where, not only in maybe finances, I do feel like finances are a huge factor here for a lot of you, but also your spirituality, right? With the High Priestess, you're nurturing that spiritual sense of yourself, that instinctual nature. And again, travel. Some of you might be feeling drawn to a specific place, in particular, like intuitively. Some of you might also be going to a north node line. There's travel here, guys. Big time, big time, big time. Like, I have to say that almost all of you are going to be traveling somewhere, even if it's not far. Because the Chariot can talk about car travel, so it might be for some of you it's overseas, and for some of you it might be in your area or somewhere else, like that's not too far away, like maybe in your country. But there's something about this that is going to unlock certain aspects of yourself that have been hidden. There's also a lot of intuitive kind of things coming into fruition and maybe seeing an end result. For those of you that have felt kind of confused, part of your glow up is going to be understanding your place in the world and what you want. Because sometimes, and I think I'm often this person who's been very confused about what I want. I remember I did a meditation once by Lacy Phillips, and she's like doing this like meditation, and I got into it pretty far, and at one point she's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And my eyes like shot open, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where I want to be in 5 years. And sometimes we don't know that, especially in all aspects of our life. There might be many things that we want. And I always really related to that scene in the bell jar where she's at that fig tree. And I don't know if some of you have read that. Raise your hand if you've read The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. But there's that scene in the book in which she's at this fig tree and she sees all these different opportunities for her, and she wants that life and this life and that marriage and that partner and that Olympic career and all these different things, but she doesn't know which one to grab. And she's like, if I choose one, it means I have to give up all the other ones, but I don't know which one I want, which one will bring me happiness and fulfillment. And then they all drop at her feet, because it's true, time ticks, the clock is ticking. And I know it's scary to think that, especially like for me, I get really freaky about that. But the clock ticks, and we only have so much time in our life. Unfortunately, we're only promised so much time on this earth. And again, sometimes you have to make a choice. But I feel like you guys are going to know the right choice to make. You're going to intuitively know what you want to see in some aspect of your life. And now maybe for some of you, this is your major. Maybe for some of you, this is going to be where you want to live next. Maybe this is your next step in life. But there's something here. And I really do feel, like I said, for a lot of you, your next glow up involves travel and movement. And for some of you, that might be the next glow up, is that you kind of come to a place where you're going to find more success and you're surrendering the past and kind of stepping into new experiences and new places. And for others of you, it might just be a vacation that's really eye-opening in terms of what you want. You might meet someone on this vacation that really just triggers you to, recognize what you want in yourself. You might see this, business lady who's like, doing so-and-so things, and it's just an inspiration to you, you know what I mean? But yeah, I do feel like I said, some of you, this is overseas, and for others of you, it might be more near. I was going to say another thing that I almost forgot earlier because I got sidetracked, but some of you might be going to a north node line. Now, I've had experience living on a north node line before. I lived on a north node line in astrocartography in Moscow, and I had a lot of relationship changes, fated, kind of changes. And I've also I've often been, I don't know why, but I'm drawn to North Node lines, because I also went on 2 trips to Panama and Thailand, and I have North Node lines in both of those places. And it was funny because I was just drawn there intuitively. I had no, especially Panama in particular, I had no previous knowledge. It just saw it, and I wanted to go there. And I decided to sign up for that trip. And funnily enough, yeah, I had a North Node line there. And I learned a lot about myself and had epiphanies about my life and about other people and about, all these types of things. So I would definitely say, maybe traveling to North Node line might be, insightful for you at this time, looking at where those are. You can check on astro.com, by the way. But yeah, that's where I see a lot of you are going to be receiving your glow up. There's something here about kind of like movement, travel, and money opportunities as well. Tell me more about the path of money. So the star reminds me of divine Yep. Oh my god, the Ace of Wands can be divine inspiration. The wands are, and fire signs are very much actually in tune with intuition, right? That is one of the markers, at least according to like the Carl Jung or whatever. 1 second here. Let me show you guys something here from one of my astrology books. And this is like the energy of the wands. It can be like that inspirational, kind of passionate sort of hit, that you get. Let me see, where is this? I was just reading this and I sent it to my friend. But goodness knows. Oops, my camera memory card got full. Anyways, I can't find that quote. I think I deleted the shot I had of it. But it's in the book, From the Moment We Met, which is a book on compatibility in astrology. But yeah, it talks about how fire is very intuitive, and it can be like that spark of, and that's what I was going to say is divine inspiration with the star. And then the Ace of Wands came out and totally confirmed that thought for me. That's why I was a little bit blown away, because I really feel like a lot of you are going to have some sort of divine inspiration that you need to follow, because I feel like whatever is kind of coming to you at this time or in the near future is going to have a lot to do with your glow up, especially in terms of your finances. Okay, so you might have a really good idea, a financial idea. Maybe it's a business idea for some of you, a new business venture, or some kind of project that is going to have a lot of potential for like financial power, in the future. We also have the Two of Pentacles, which tells me that you'll be able to find a way to balance this out. Maybe for some of you it might be hard to take on that extra project, but I feel like you can handle it. That's something here too. You might be able to find a way to finagle it to happening, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel also that more sense of stability with money, as an example, making your coin go farther. Maybe it's adding an extra income for some of you, and that's going to be a part of that glow up. I can't promise that for all of you it's going to bring like tons of income right away, but I think that there's potential in it with the right, hard work and dedication. But yeah, I do see a lot of you surrendering previously held beliefs too, denials about yourself. And I want to find out, like, what is worth waiting for group number 3? What is worth waiting for all about? I want to see if I can get more. Okay, so we have the Queen of Wands, the most impatient queen. So again, some of you might be feeling a little bit antsy, hoping that something's going to happen, and maybe you're being told, hey, this is worth waiting for because it's going to give you a new perspective. And sometimes you have to take things a little bit carefully, or you have to surrender that outcome. Yes, See, because that's the thing. And you know what's funny is that's what the idea I was getting with that the Moth spirit, with the surrender now, is that one of the best ways sometimes to manifest is just to allow it to drop away from you. To not have that lack mentality of like, when's it coming? When's it coming? When's it coming? When's it going to happen? When am I going to do this? And then you start to get too anxious and attached to the outcome. And it's harder for it to manifest because our subconscious tends to start throwing all these denials. Oh, I can't have this. It's bullshit. It's not meant for me. I'm not good enough for this, or yada, 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 yada. All the ways in which we kind of destroy ourselves and our ambitions and our desires and our wants, with our fear. And even sometimes we don't realize we're doing it. There's just a subconscious belief. That's one of the things I think that's so important in terms of like the law of attraction or manifestation, is starting small so you can build up that belief. It's just like trusting a person. You're not going to just, well, unless you're, got Neptune, Venus or something, you're not just, or some bad Neptune, you're not going to just be trusting anybody off the streets. You're going to make them prove their worth, right? In order to trust them. And that's even trusting ourselves to manifest. We kind of build a similar thing. That's why Neptunian people do tend to manifest really well, because they have that sense of like fantasy inside of them. They're like, yeah, I can do this. There's like but sometimes you fall in the face, especially when you trust other people. But anyways, yeah, I think Neptunian people are some of the best manifestors, because they have that kind of ingrained fairy tale belief at some time, or that hope that never dies. Let's get some charms for you guys and see more about your next glow up. So let's see here. Spirit angels, guide my fingers to the right charms. Wow, okay, that's cute that we're getting the clock here. Travel vibes are so high, guys, so high. Some of you are relocating. Homes, wow, we have all about travel, home, getting away with the astrology signs that we're getting. We also, okay, look at this. Oh my gosh. Love and be loved. Made with love. The hearts here. Fated connections coming in. I feel like a lot of you are on a path to a fated connection, for those of you. And if you've been wondering about love, it's going to be unlocked. For some of you, that might be at a distance. Because look at this. We have the heart, the combined hearts here. And we also have this butterfly here talking about transformation. So some of you might identify with butterflies, or you might be seeing butterflies. Or you're like me and you have a butterfly tattoo. I remember once I was watching a reading, I think it was Aqua Arcana, which I love. I love her. Who else adores Aqua Arcana? She's awesome. But she was doing a reading and she was like, oh, I see butterflies. And I was like, I don't see butterflies ever. And then I looked down at my, and then I remembered I have a butterfly tattoo on my stomach that I never look at. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I do like have butterflies. I forgot I even had it because I never look at it, I suppose. We have Wuthering Heights here, so some of you might be good, into reading and stuff like that. That might be a story that you like. Again, this is kind of a tragic story for those of you that have been in toxic situations, right? Look at the little toxic guy here. You might be letting go of these things, and navigating new pathways. I see the compass here, so it's like all about your inner light. I feel like a lot of you are going to get a sense of direction. The compass also reminds me of travel. And we have Sagittarius coming out twice. What is Sagittarius? It's the 9th house, the house of foreign travel. And also spirituality and really connecting. I feel like a lot of you might be beginning new spiritual practices that are very healthy for you. Some of you might be studying, and starting that educational journey away from home. But I just get a sense that a lot of you are breaking out of home and kind of moving or traveling and getting out of the realm that you've been in and kind of exploring new parts of yourself. And again, letting go of the past here with a lucky attitude. These dice remind me so much of Sagittarius, kind of like that luck. And, with Leo, that can also be a bit of a gamble. Leo in the 5th house, represents gambling, taking a risk, So some of you might be taking that gamble, or you're willing to. And like I said, it says, don't look back. That's not where you're going. Don't look in that rear view mirror. Keep going straight, and forward in your life. And again, I feel like there's so many different opportunities to just be uncovered here. And again, this seesaw, I can't even do it. Let's see if I can do it. She sells seashells by the seashore. Ooh, I did it. Okay. This seashell, I always think about holding it up to my ear. So again, you guys might find that if you go out in nature and just take a walk and allow no music, just listen to the sounds that are kind of around you and see what you pick up. Okay, we also have this watch. So again, timing is funny because I mentioned that we don't have forever. And so there might be something here like the time is coming, it's worth waiting for. Even if it feels like time has stopped. This watch doesn't have a battery, by the way. So it's like it's stopped, right? But even if time is stopped, the battery can be put in and it can start, ticking again. So even if it feels like things are at a temporary pause, they're not. But I also see this sense of like loving and be loved. I feel like a lot of you are inviting some sort of partnership into your life that's going to be very loving, mutually loving. And some of you might meet this person on a vacation. So that is the next glow up I see for you guys. I really hope that this reading helped and gave you some insight. I'm sending you all so, so much love. I hope that this reading found you well. And I hope to see you on the next reading. Take care, guys. Hello, my friends. If you chose group number 4, this last group with the citrine, this is going to be your reading. So let us find out what glow up is coming. Now, the first card I took is a goddess card from the Legendary Ladies Goddess Tarot deck, or not tarot deck, oracle deck, sorry. And it is a card that lets us know which goddess is really assisting you in your glow up journey and what is kind of going on, what is the message here associated with her. So we have Eos, and Eos means light. You may be feeling lost or aimless lately, and winged goddess of light, Eos is here to show you the way with her torch. Like Eos ushering in the dawn, a light will appear soon to show you the way out of your situation or clarify how you've been feeling and why. Follow those intuitive pings. Wow, so a lot of you, part of your glow up is literally having some light shed on on your situation or where you're at in life. So for those of you that have felt in the dark, in your life, that's going to be part of your glow up, and you have Eos here really assisting in this journey. So definitely calling on her might be helpful. Sending out a prayer or a calling to her, inviting her to help you. We have Scorpio, generosity, stay optimistic about your love life, getting to know each other. Interesting that Scorpio came out and generosity came out, because there is a correlation between that, as the Scorpio is associated with the 8th house of other people's money. So you have your money in the 2nd house in sort of like that type of way, and then you have other people's money in the 8th house. Some of you might be getting a generous offer of money from someone else. Some of you might be inheriting more than you might expect. I don't want to promise that for everybody, but that might have something to do with the way that you're glowing up. You might be receiving some sort of dues, and it may not be necessarily an inheritance from like someone passing, but it could be like a sorry or somebody kind of helping you out with money. I'm getting this might also be to heal or rectify a situation, is what I'm getting. So some of you might be getting like a payback or something along those lines. That will sort of, and maybe for some of you, we have the tiger here, doing something risky, taking a chance. You know what I want to say? If some of you, okay, for those of you that live in the US and you've had like, maybe you've gotten some stimulus money, some of you might be thinking actually about how to invest it. I feel like some of you are being intuitively led to do something, and you need to act upon that, not to be fearful of failure. Now, if that's not the case, it doesn't have to necessarily be connected to that, but you might, I don't know, I just felt that message. I know it's specific, so take it if it resonates, and if it doesn't, just let it be for someone else that needs to hear it. But I do feel like a lot of you are meant to kind of take a risk. Scorpio is Mars energy traditionally, just like Aries. It's a little bit different in a sense, but there's a power to it, and there is that risk with Mars, knowing that there has to be something risky. And when Scorpio is the house of like kind of like death and rebirth, and going to the hell and back essentially. And so for some of you, there might be something that you're a little bit fearful of, because sometimes Scorpio can also represent our fears and where we feel in the dark about something. I feel like a lot of you might be fearful of the future, or especially maybe based on past events. Scorpio in the 8th house really represents our interaction with other people when it comes to intimacy. And kind of like oftentimes because the previous water house is the 4th house, so that's our childhood, and then we get into our partnership in the 7th house, and we come into that communication with the partner where we have to sleep with them, we have to eat with them, we have to share money with them, we have to meet their family, we have to do all these mergings with another person. And that's when we recognize how we've grown up, how they've grown up, and how that made us interact together. And so there's you know, that's why it's such a crazy house, because that's where sex happens, that's where pregnancy happens, that's where all these like really transformative events happen, death, you know. um and and so there's something risky, I feel like, with what you want to do. And I feel like a lot of you are, I feel like for some of you there's a partner coming in, for some of you possibly in the future, on the horizon, if you don't have one, especially if you've gone through some nasty situations. This might be about purging certain connections too, and becoming free of them, and not losing your heart or your innocence in the process, not allowing yourself to be damaged. And it may be from previous connections, like it doesn't have to be recent. It could be ways in which you were, you know, lacking trust, or you have these emotional issues. Because like I said, the fourth house to the eighth house, the water houses, you jump from that childhood to that eighth house, which is the next step of water. And you, yeah, you have to face some of the stuff you have, some of the ways that you grew up, some of the ways that you are in private, and you have to address that with another person in private. That's why it's secret relationships, or you know, those more intimate interactions with another person, because it's not just a contractual, like, I'm on the street, you're on the street type of thing. It's more intimate than that. So a lot of you are going to be addressing that. And maybe some of your fears of failure when it comes to relationship, maybe some of you are holding on to something that you know needs to be let go of in your life, and you know it needs to be recycled, you know it needs to be gone, but you don't know how to do it. And maybe for some of you there's going to be that sense of what to do, you know, and how to handle it. And I see a lot of you are going to be taking big time leadership in your life with the stag spirit. You're taking the lead in something, and you're allowing yourself to kind of face, look failure in the eye. What is that song? Oh my God. Look fear in the eye. But there's some kind of song that came to me just now. Damn it, I can't remember what it is. Glitter in the Air by Pink. Have you ever fed a lover with just your hands? Have you ever looked fear in the face and said, I just don't care? That's the lyric. So again, this might be about being completely vulnerable and being like, it's okay. That song, you guys need to listen to it, especially for those of you that are having love issues, in particular, and your self-worth regarding love. Okay, because this is about your glow up. And it's true, like I told group number one, we will find that through other people we can find self-worth, and we can also get our self-worth destroyed, right? But we can also build it up through other people. And that's the thing, other people are part of our life. That's why we have them on the angles, and all the angles are connected, you know, in our astrology, because we have ourself, and then we learn from other people. This feeds our IC, which is our roots, and we learn from our family, and this is what propels us to grow and shine. You know what I mean? I've talked about the flower theory before, but that's kind of where that comes from. We need other people. They're impactful on us, but we want to make sure we're allowing the right people in, right? Okay, so where is group number 4's biggest glow up going to be? So we have the Hanged Man. This is interesting. Okay, let's see. A situation in which you've been feeling stuck in, you're moving out of it. There's also a sense of calling here. The Eight of Cups to me can be about knowing it's time for a new phase that you've been fighting off. You know, and it's nice where we're at. It's very comfortable. We have all those cups. We could refill them. There's water right there. But we know we don't want to be in this section anymore. We don't want in this life. We don't want this part of ourselves. We don't need this part anymore. We're done. You know what I mean? We need to kind of walk along the shore and see another spot. We're tired of filling up the same cups with the same bullshit. You know what I mean? And for a lot of you, I think that you're moving away from that. And the Hangman can talk about new perspectives. For some of you, it might be that over the past year, you know, and as I filmed this, like I said to the another group, you know, it's COVID and stuff like that. But I think this has been a year of reflection, you know, where we've really been faced with ourselves and what we want, what we don't want, and all these types of things. And I feel like in a lot of ways, this is like, you know, let us to believe, what do we want to manifest in our life? What will make us happy? What will be fulfilling? I can leave all of this behind that I've kind of built up, and I can find a new cup. And I feel like a lot of you are finding that, whether it's in romance, or creativity, or what. I think for a lot of you, there could be a romantic aspect here, though. There's also a glow up in terms of your communication style, where you've been feeling a little bit timid and a little bit held back. I see you guys opening up more and fighting for what you want, asserting yourself. The Knight of Swords is so much more assertive than the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords looks cautious and kind of careful, but the Knight of Swords is like, no, I'll fight for what I want. I'm not going to give up easily. I won't go quietly into the night. You know, that kind of thing. So I feel like a lot of you might be really kind of speaking up on what you want and actually putting action in it. You know, I see Knights as cards of movement. And in particular, the Knight is a very, the Knight of Swords is a very quick movement. So there could be some quick changes coming in as well. Yep, and there we are, the Knight of Wands. Quick changes. There's a sense of optimism too, I think, coming to you, where you're kind of, again, there's that sense of inspiration here and intuitive ability here with Eos, and that flame and the Knight of Wands. It really makes me think a lot of you are really taking a risk towards something and putting yourself out there. With this getting to know each other, I really do feel like a lot of you are making a new connection. Maybe not for all of you, but it doesn't have to be romantic, by the way. It could be, you know, a friend or something. But so take it as it resonates. But I do feel like a new connection and taking that risk to open yourself up. We have the Knight of Cups here. We have a lot of court cards here. So you might be dealing with a lot of people in the near future or right now. But again, I see like kind of an evolution with that Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. Yeah, we are getting a lot of energy of new beginnings. And again, have you ever looked face in the fear and said, I just don't care? That song always makes you cry, by the way. That's like one of the songs that tears me up. I have a few of those songs, and that's always been one that, like, oh, I tear up. I don't know why. It's just it's a touching song, I guess. Let's see here. Yeah. Where you've been feeling kind of like things were heavy or burdened and you were kind of holding on to old things, I feel like you're letting go of a lot of that stuff in terms of your glow up. Yep. In terms of beliefs, in terms of limitations, and things that sometimes you even take on. You know, he's not asking for help. He's just trying to do everything on his own. So this might be about reaching out to other people, getting to know other people, taking the risk, you know, to open up and get past your fears. Spirit, where is the biggest glow up going to be for group number 4? In your subconscious mind. You've been fighting off changes, I feel like, that you know intuitively have to happen, yet you fight them off. You know there are certain things that need to pass away. And you also know that you need to fight for, and for some of you though, there's subconscious fears that cause you to kind of like fight off changes that need to be happening because you're afraid of failure, you're afraid of things not working out. And I feel like that's going to be part of what you're getting rid of. But there's a lot of scorpionic, plutonic energy. Some of you might be going through a big 8th house transit, or perhaps the 2nd house transit even, or something that's aspecting your 8th house ruler. I mean, or what was I going to say? Pluto transit. Like I'm going through the Pluto square sun at the moment, which I have the opposition in my natal chart, so it's not, I guess it's not that bad because I'm kind of used to it. The energy of like a challenging Pluto. You know, sometimes that makes it easier. It's like when I had, you know, Saturn square my Mars or whatever. It's like I already have Saturn opposite my Mars. I'm fine. Okay, one second. I wanted to grab one back. My dog needs out. I need to go get him. He accidentally got locked in the room because he wanted to go in there earlier. I just want to get one more card for you guys. I didn't do this for the other groups, but group number 4. Where is their glow up coming? What is coming from this glow up? Where are they glowing up? Your surroundings will undergo transition, so there are a lot of changes coming towards you. And that's partially where the glow up comes. A close friend acts on your behalf. So again, this can be a message for you guys that there's somebody that's kind of acting on your behalf in the near future. That has, is a well-intentioned person. And we have the seer, follow your intuition. So listening to that intuitive feeling inside of you. Because that's the thing. Look at this. The hand of fate says forces beyond your control intervene. The thing is that when you're not going to let go of something, and you know it has to happen, and you hold on for earthly reasons, but you intuitively know it's got to end, but you're too chicken to kind of kickstart it, that's when things fall apart. That's when the universe eventually says, oh, okay, you're not going to do it? Well, I'll do it. And that's what the Tower energy is. You know, when things kind of fall apart. So some of you might be facing sort of a transformation that you've been, not, maybe for some of you, it's like you don't know how to handle it. Maybe there's a fear that you won't have success, but there's a message here that you're going to have success. So whatever you've been trying to like not let go of, and maybe you find excuses or you think that you're going to be a failure, it's not true. We also have a sly, subtle approach is needed, and choose your words carefully. The serpent and the sphinx. Well, that's interesting, because this has a similar energy. Some of you might be dealing with a situation or a person from the past in which you need to kind of handle the situation carefully, like kind of slip away, as an example. Let me see here. One more to kind of clarify this. The sun. Your perseverance is rewarded. Interesting. The sun. Well, this is guaranteed success, I feel like, if you are kind of taking that subtle approach and you keep going for something relentlessly, as an example, and if you really do plan it out and think it out. There might be somebody, though, in your life in which you need to take a more careful approach with. I don't mean that to sound ominous or scary, really. It just might be that, you know, maybe it's better to kind of be subtle or quieter, you know? Kind of like a quiet sort of exit, as an example, for some of you, okay? Not all of you. And anything else here? The group number. Again, your surroundings will undergo transition. Comes out again. So again, there's changes. The wind of change is coming. And here we have good fortune and friendship. So things are looking up. You are being recognized by people as unique. And that's part of your glow up. You're being appreciated as being unique for being yourself. So where you felt that you weren't appreciated, you're going to feel much more appreciated by people around you. Okay? Especially those of you that we have utilized logic, reason, and common sense, Earth. So, again, I see a more stable sense, too. If you guys have been going through some big changes and uprisings in your life, I do see that kind of calming down and becoming more settled. But I do still see a need to kind of be logical and also fair to yourself, you know what I mean, in your life. And that's part of the globe as well. Let me see here in terms of group number 4. Oh, no. Should I be like TikTok and say, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, no, no. Okay, let's see. We have thank you. So you might be getting thanks from somebody with that generosity, like a thank you for your generosity. We also have good vibes. Let's see, we have the Eiffel Tower, so travel might be something here. Perspective is another thing I've heard people refer to with that charm in particular. We have Capricorn, we've got Aquarius, we've got Scorpio coming out, Cancer, changes around the home, transformations around the home. Interesting, remember I was talking about the 4th house versus the 8th house. There might be a lot of childhood traumas or wounds that you're kind of tending to at this time, letting go of, recognizing as well. Some of you might be entering and growing up, you know, in terms of like leaving your family and encountering other relationships. Okay, so we have the low battery. And for some of you, I do feel like there will be a battery restoration, okay, where something is kind of dying. As an example, you get a recharge, for sure. And let's see here. We also have the bicycle here, so there might be some movement happening. Like I said, that's going to be part of your glow up as things are moving forward. Again, the bicycle and the Eiffel Tower makes me think of travel. So some of you might be traveling. And there's the heart with wings. So I see yourself being free. Your heart feeling freer and lighter as well. We also have this coin in particular, which I don't know what this is. Somebody told me once. But here's a coin. value money. Some of you might be receiving money from somebody else, and or investing money that you've received via someone else. I see success here and recognition, reputation with Capricorn. I see also with Aquarius friendship groups coming in and new experiences in relationship, something about the home. We have the swan here too, which makes me think of transformations, you know, the ugly duckling to the swan kind of story. So a lot of you are going through, you know, maybe you've had that rough stage already and you're kind of gracefully coming out of it. I also see a lot of luck coming your way with the dice here in the cage. You know, I see luck, gambling, taking chances, doing something risky. And I see you know, this little diamond teardrop. Again, out of difficult situations, something beautiful comes. And we have the shell here talking to me about possibilities. You know, I see, like I always say, I have this one card and it has shells with like potentials in them. And it always makes me think of all the different potentials we have. There's the banana as well. So it's like, you know, peeling back the layers of yourself and getting to the sweetness inside, you know. And then we have the cat here and bee, just being who you are, being comfortable with that, understanding who you are. And there's that independence of the cat coming out and showing you perhaps that, you know, you can find independence and be your own leader. Like cats, they just say, and do their thing. Okay, good vibes here. So I do see good vibes being part of, you know, your glow up. And like I said, it seems like some sort of recognition or thank you you're going to be receiving. And it could be just the universe sending you things your way that are like, okay, thank you. You have been a decent human being. Here you go. You know what I mean? So it might just be some lucky breaks and stuff like that too. But I do feel like a lot of you are going to take a risk in the near future that's going to pay off greatly for your success in the future. And I do see like love and stuff coming in here too. And letting go of fears of failure and just thinking everything is going to be shit, you know, redirecting your mind into like, you know, believing in good vibes and bringing in good vibes into your life. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys at Chose Group number 4. I really hope that this reading was helpful and insightful, and I hope that it gave you something to look forward to. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next reading.